Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking at 3 recent reports from 10x Research
Okay.
about the current state of the crypto market.
Yeah.
And you want to understand, what's driving the recent fluctuations in, Bitcoin and Ethereum
Right. Yeah.
and where things might be headed. So let's dive in.
Sounds good.
So first off, Bitcoin pushing towards $100,000 has a lot of people asking, is this the top of the cycle?
Yeah. Right.
10x Research even acknowledges that they're, surprised at how strong these altcoin rallies have been.
They are.
They've even exceeded their own, pretty bullish expectations. But they point to their Pi cycle top indicator,
Right.
which uses, this 111-day moving average and twice the 350-day moving average
Yeah.
to try and pinpoint, the market peaks.
Yeah.
And so what's interesting is they're not simply looking at when those two averages cross, but they're actually looking at the momentum of that 111-day moving average after it crosses.
Yeah.
And based on that, they suggest we might not be at the top just yet.
Yeah. And they also think that the $16 billion FTX creditor payout in Q1 2025 could be like a major catalyst
Oh, wow.
for prices to move higher.
That's definitely something to keep an eye on. On the other hand, though, we've got this surge in altcoin trading volume,
Right.
especially on the Korean exchange UPBit.
Right.
10x Research highlights that the weekend trading volume on UPBit was up 48%
Wow.
compared to the 7-day average, which includes a weekday. So we're talking, $14 billion in volume on both Saturday and Sunday.
That's a big jump,
It's huge, right?
especially considering the weekend volume is usually lower.
Exactly.
What's really interesting is that the volume's being driven by altcoins.
Yeah. And not just, the usual suspects like Dogecoin and Ripple and Stellar, which have, dominated trading since November 5th. But we're also seeing a revival of what 10x Research calls forgotten altcoins.
Like what?
Coins that haven't really been making any noise in a long time.
Right.
And it reminds me of, that speculative burst that we saw back in March of this year. But 10x Research is quick to point out that there's a key difference this time around.
What's that?
These high volumes are sustained over multiple days. We're not just seeing a one-day pump and dump,
Right.
suggesting that there might be a shift in market sentiment.
Uh-huh.
And it's really interesting how they connect this back to, their warnings from previous reports about monitoring trading volume, and particularly in Korea, as a crucial indicator of, market trends.
Absolutely. And it's not just limited to a few coins either. Metaverse tokens like the Sandbox and Decentraland are also seeing a resurgence.
Oh, wow.
For example, the Sandbox had a 24-hour trading volume of $5.3 billion, with 20% of that coming from UPBit.
Okay, so we've got Bitcoin, potentially approaching a peak, altcoins taking off. What about Ethereum? 10x Research highlights this U.S. appeals court ruling that could be really significant.
Yeah, what happened?
They deemed the sanctions against Tornado Cash unlawful,
Oh.
which is a big win for Ethereum and the DeFi ecosystem. Because essentially the court said that programmers can, develop and release smart contracts without fear of sanction, as long as they don't charge fees for their use. So this has the potential to be like a game changer,
It does.
especially considering Ethereum is the leading blockchain for DeFi.
Right.
They also point to the potential impact of Paul Atkins, who's likely to be appointed SEC chair under Trump. And he's known for his balanced approach to crypto regulation, aiming to, foster innovation while protecting investors. So this could be really positive for, the entire crypto industry.
Yeah, especially for Ethereum.
10x Research dives into Ethereum's price action as well. They note that, while Bitcoin's implied volatility has been relatively flat, Ethereum's has spiked significantly after November 14th.
Really?
Suggesting that traders are anticipating a potential rally. And there's evidence to support that.
Like what?
A new whale has been accumulating ether, pushing the price upwards in a near-perfect 45-degree trajectory. It even broke through that $3,500 resistance level. They also point to Ethereum's skew, which has dropped to -12%. And historically, when the skew drops that low, Ethereum tends to see price increases. Another fascinating detail is the shift from options to futures trading. Ethereum futures open interest is surpassing previous peaks, indicating a surge in, bullish sentiment. It seems like, a lot of people believe that Ethereum might outperform Bitcoin in 2025.
Yeah.
Fueled by this, positive regulatory environment and the renewed interest in DeFi.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, all very interesting points. Let's take a closer look at Bitcoin's recent correction and those macroeconomic factors 10x Research highlights in part 2 of this deep dive.
Sounds good.
Don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends.
And be sure to post any questions you have in the comments below.
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Okay, so let's dig into Bitcoin's recent price correction. 10x Research kind of connects this dip to a few macroeconomic factors, including like global money supply and the potential shift in U.S. fiscal policy under the incoming Trump administration.
Right. They bring up some interesting points about how Bitcoin has been like a hedge against a weakening dollar.
Yeah.
Especially with, central banks diversifying their reserves.
Exactly. And, with global money supply practically doubling in the past decade, it's not a surprise that we've seen, asset prices surge. But 10x Research suggests this trend might be changing.
Because of the potential for, reduced government spending and, a slowdown in monetary expansion under Trump.
Exactly. They also highlight the Fed's, potential pause in rate cuts, which the market is already reacting to. It's a tough balance. A strong U.S. growth outlook could push asset prices higher, but it also might lead to a less accommodative Fed.
And 10x Research even points out that gold, which is often considered a leading indicator, has already reacted negatively to this. So what does all this mean for Bitcoin's price?
Well, 10x Research points to these two levels of support, $89,000 and $75,000. And they also analyze on-chain metrics, like the realized profit-loss ratio and changes in long-term holder positions.
Okay. And what are those metrics telling us?
So while there are some signs of selling pressure, they haven't reversed course yet. According to 10x Research, that reversal would be a much stronger signal of a market top.
Okay, so we're kind of in a wait-and-see mode right now with Bitcoin.
Yeah, pretty much. But they do mention that December has historically been a bullish month for Bitcoin. And they suggest that, allowing the technical indicators to reset to more sustainable levels could actually help the uptrend, regain momentum. So we might see some short-term volatility, but their analysis indicates that the broader outlook for 2025 remains bullish.
Okay.
But, we also need to consider what's happening with Ethereum and DeFi.
Right, especially with that appeals court ruling on Tornado Cash, which 10x Research, thinks could be incredibly significant. They seem pretty bullish on Ethereum's prospects.
Yeah.
Maybe even more so than Bitcoin.
That's right. They see this ruling as a major victory for the DeFi ecosystem, and it could pave the way for more innovation and development on the Ethereum network. And with the potential for a more favorable regulatory environment under Trump, things are looking interesting.
10x Research even highlights the involvement of Trump and his sons with the DeFi protocol, World Liberty Financial.
Right.
Along with Justin Sun's, $30 million investment in the same project. They see this as a possible signal of a DeFi renaissance under Trump presidency.
It certainly adds another layer to the story, but what stands out to you from all of this?
I think the potential for a DeFi resurgence is fascinating. And the fact that Ethereum's implied volatility spiked after November 14th suggests that, traders are already anticipating something big.
Yeah.
But those macroeconomic factors are definitely making me pause.
It's a lot to process, for sure. So to recap for our listeners, Bitcoin's price is currently experiencing a correction, but the long-term outlook remains cautiously optimistic. Ethereum, on the other hand, appears to be gaining momentum, driven by positive regulatory developments and this renewed interest in DeFi.
Right.
Of course, as always, the crypto market is incredibly dynamic and influenced by a complex interplay of factors.
Exactly. What are your thoughts? Do you think Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin in 2025? Let us know in the comments below.
We'd love to hear your predictions, and don't forget to subscribe and share this deep dive with your friends.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.